Hi everyone, let's continue with the next problem. Our next problem is a class versus instance. Okay, uh, objective of this problem is, this challenge, we are going to learn about the difference between a class and an instance, because this is an object-oriented concept. Okay, what is the task? Write a person class. Let's write a person class. Okay, this person class with an instance variable h. Let's make uh, a private. Okay, we can just make it a private so that outer classes cannot reach this local variable. Integer of h. Okay, so and a constructor that takes an integer. Okay, we need to provide a constructor with initial h. So integer initial h as a parameter, the constructor must assign initial h to h after confirming the argument passed is as initial h is not negative. So if our initial h is not equal, or we can just say greater and equal to 0, argument is passed initial h, the constructor should set h to 0. So it says if it is negative number, if initial h is a negative number, set this initial h to 0. Initial h, not initial h, actually this h, because we are in the future we are going to use this h in this class. We need to, yeah, it says h actually. Okay. So we should set the h to 0. And after that, we need to print h is not a valid setting, it's 0. Okay, so we need to print out system dot on prints ln, and in quotes we need to add a dot here. Okay, else we need to initialize this value to h value, or declare to h value, initial h. Okay, good. So another important point is that we need to write a method called year passes. So let's copy this part, and public year passes. Let's, is it going to return something or just h instance variable by 1? It should increase the h by 1. So the type can be just be voids, because it doesn't say anything about returning something. So we are going to just add 1 plus 1 each time it is called. Okay. Another point is my old method. So we will just print public should return something from the following conditional actions. Print you are young. Okay, it should print string. It should return a string. So the name of this method is am I old? So this method doesn't have any parameter as specified here. So it will check if this, it will perform some conditional actions. If the age is smaller than 13, what it is going to do basically is it will print out you are young. Okay. And if it is between 13 and 18, else if it is greater than 13 and smaller than 18, we will print out you are a teenager. Okay. Otherwise, else, you are old. System lets out the print ln. Okay. That's it, I think. After this, we are going to write the solution part. To help you learn by example and complete this challenge, much of the code is provided for you. Okay, we are just going to write everything by ourselves. So there will be an input as handled for you by the stop code in the editor. The first line contains an integer. Let's write by ourselves this part. We need to provide an integer as shown here again, right? Because there will be some inputs and the output should look like this. Okay, let's first create an instance from scanner class. And let's clear it. Then we need to say t is equal, and from scanner class we need a method next integer which will get an input from terminal. So this t is going to be lines each containing an integer denoting the age of person instance. It represents the number of test cases. So this there will be a for loop for this. So in this for loop, we are going to make the test cases, right? It should be smaller than t, and ei should be increasing order. So after initializing this, what else we are going to do? We need to an integer denoting the age of person instance. So those are the age of the person, I think, and those returns these parts for time, okay? At first it gives -1 and it says age is not valid. It is setting to age 0. And after that it says you are young, you are young. Let's look at the explanation for this part. It says set h to 0. Okay. After that, 3 years passes, age 0. So we print the young message again. What is the deal with years passes part? Person is young. Okay. I think after we call the age part, am I old part, it says you are young if it is uh, smaller than 30. And after that, we call the year passes method, I think, so that we call it 3 times. So after 3 years, we check it if this person is old or a teenager again. Okay. So at first, we need to provide the age, right? Let's call it an initial age here. Let's get the initial age from the terminal by using next integer method from the scanner class. And after this part, we should create an instance of person class. From person class, let's get a person and create an instance person, and this person class gets a parameter as initial age, right? After we provide the initial age, we need to, for example, we provided the initial age here. If it is written as -1, it will call the constructor, right? The constructor will check if it is smaller than 0. It will set the age at 0 and it will print out this part, right? As we can see here. After this, so we need at first, okay. After this, it will check if you are young or not, right? So we are going to call the am I old method. Am I old method, right? So after looking at if it is at 0 years old, it will say you are young, and then we are going to make it 3 years passes, and we are going to call the years passes method 3 times, and we will look at the initial age again. We will check if it is greater than 30 or not, because in my old part we are checking the if it is young or teenager or an old person. So before this part, we need to call years pass method 3 times. So for this part, I am going to only use a for loop for this, right? Integer I at 0, and I should be smaller than 3, and I should be increasing order. No, actually we can call this J. So we are going to call this years passes age from person class 3 times. After that, we are again going to check am I old class again. Alright. After we check that, we need to continue with the next line. Therefore, we are going to use system out dot println. Because of this println, we are going to start the next line. I hope this was clear. So let's run the code if there are any mistakes. Okay, we have a spelling mistake here. system, yes, here, system. So another important part, if initial age cannot find the symbol, so we again have a spelling mistake, I think. At 36. Let's copy this and paste it here. Okay, let's run the code. We have another problem, missing return statements. For what? Okay, we haven't returned anything from here. So in this part, we are going to just print out something. We don't have to return anything else. Okay, so we can just call this a void. So can we use return type? Yes, of course we can use it, but I have already written it in a system.out method. Therefore, I'm not going to change these parts. So let's run the code. Okay, we have a wrong answer because of what? What are the difference? Teenager, you are old. So everything looks okay actually. Is there anything, any spelling mistake? You are young, you are young, you are young, you are young. You are a teenager, you are old. You are young, you are old. You are young, you are a teenager. So there's one problem. I think it is because of here. And let's check the conditions. Yes, this should be equal and greater than 13, right? Because if we check here, it was if age was smaller than 13, we are going to write it you are young. Therefore, if it is equal to 13, we need to write you are a teenager. So run the code. Perfect. Let's submit the code. All tests are passed successfully, I think. Yes. All tests are successfully run. Okay, so this code is running or working.